Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and I'm excited because we have Rogue and Warrior to cover for new Ungoro mini set stuff. I know a couple of these did get spoiled earlier in the week due to unforeseen circumstances, but I'm looking at them for the first time now and see what we got here. We have the Crystalline Legendary Rogue card, 3 mana 3/3 elemental beast. While in your hand, this is a 3/3 copy of the last minion your opponent played. So its tag, I don't know why it would matter because it's just going to change every turn, right? But I think this card's really good. There's a ton of just very high costing battle cry effects, whether you're looking like Exodar or just big impactful things. Testing dummy. I'm looking at this guy like a very, very solid rogue card. It also works well with like the whole thief package with Tess. I granted the stats of stuff doesn't really matter nowadays. It's the effect it provides, and I can really see this card helping out Rogue a ton. I feel like we've had a card like this in the past. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I definitely, was it Vanessa or something? It was like, get a copy of the last, yeah, it was Vanessa. She was a 2 mana 2/3, get a copy of the last card your opponent played or something like that, and it gave you spells or minions. This is kind of like that. I mean, this is a really good rogue card. So if you're a rogue fan and you like a sort of like a mid-rangey value-centric rogue deck, I think this is gonna fit right in there, which is something that I'm leaning towards. Because right now it's just the only rogue we're seeing. We saw Cycle Rogue, which was draw your entire deck, kill your opponent in one turn with giants or asteroids by turn 3 to 5. And then now we have Freyak Rogue, which is basically throw up on the board, get the pirate that discounts by 3, shadow step that card, and then play 3 Freyaks or 3 Ziliak copies on turn about 5 to 7, which is not particularly that fun of gameplay. So maybe with something like this, we can see Rogue move to something other than killing your opponent without them being able to actually do anything about it and on their own turn. So this is good. This is good. I like this card a lot. Rogue got something good here. Moving towards Crystal Tusk, the 2 mana 2/2 weapon. Battle Cry, shuffle the leftmost card in your hand into your deck, and then its death rattle is draw 2 cards. So shuffling cards into the deck is good because of the Rogue quest. So we got an early game weapon here. 2 charges. I mean, obviously this is a draw 1, deal 4, get 1 part of the quest done. So it is good. The problem is Quest Rogue is so bad. Like, the deck is so inherently unplayable that we need cards that make it playable, right? I don't think this card makes that deck playable, right? Like, this wasn't what that deck was missing, right? This is something the deck can use to do what the deck does, but does this make that deck more powerful? And the answer, I think, is no. However, it's not bad. Maybe it is. Like, it's an okay card, but it's gonna take a lot more than okay to beat Protoss Priest, right? Like, this is a fair card that does something neat, and I think it's good in that deck if we weren't at the power level of Hearthstone that we currently are, right? Like, we're at a meta where if you're not winning by turn 5 or 6, you're losing. Like, and I feel like we've been in this meta a long time. I feel like we've been in this get OTK'd by 5 or 6 or die to aggro by 5 or 6. I think we had a very like not long lasting control meta there for a little bit with when we had a control warrior and control warlock and control DH, but we're not there anymore. So yeah, decent card, but Quest Rogue is bad. And then we have the 3 mana 1/3. This would have better. Again, Battle Cry. Get a random mask from another class combo. It costs 2 less. Okay. So I think that this is bad. We've seen, actually, I mean, the mask costs 8, right? So it'll be a 6 mana card. Rogue just cheats mana, so this makes sense. I mean, I can see them buffing this to costing 3 less, and then it's 2 good. I think 2 is fair, but this needed to be a 3 mana 2/3. I think being a 3 mana 1/3 is pretty bad, considering it's a random mask and it's not Discover. So again, if you're gonna make it random, you have to either discount it more or make the minion better. And if you make it Discover, well, then I think it's fine. But at face value, I think it's okay, right? I don't think this is overwhelmingly good, and I don't think it's bad. It really just depends on the mask. Because I'm thinking about like the Hunter one, you know, 8/8 with charge is a ton of damage for 6, pretty good. But this only, and then the priest one is like the 8/10, but it kills a minion, has life steal, which is good. Rogue doesn't really have much life steal, and so the key is this only fits in Rogue because of how much mana cheat they have, right? So like you're shadow stepping this, and then it costs 1, you're getting another one, so you practically paid 4 mana for a 1/3 that generated 2 insane spikes for 6. And then if you like prep, it now costs 4, so you then could play like prep and then mask on turn 4 right after this guy or something. So again, Rogue only works because it cheats an insane amount of mana so fast, right? If they remove shadow step and prep from Rogue, Rogue's fucking in shambles, bro. Rogue is probably the worst class in the game if they get rid of prep and shadow step, and they've been in the game for like 10 years now. They've literally been core for 10 years. So I mean, I like Rogue as a class. I think it's very interesting, and you can do some really unique things with Rogue, and multiple metas we've had that. But I am sick and tired of prep and shadow step being like what Rogue is without, like I said, I don't like decks and classes being basically lensed in on 1 to 4 cards, and if you don't play them, you're garbage. And that's what Rogue is. Without prep and shadow step, the class is fucking cooked. All right, so moving to Warlock, we have a 6 mana 2/2 death rattle. Summon a random beast from your deck and then give it lifesteal. That is a card that has stats and a mana value that you can play in Hearthstone. Interesting. All right, the 8 mana 6/10 taunt at the end of your turn, deal 5 damage to a random enemy minion. They are so scared to have these things go face, man. This card at the end of your turn, it should, like, honestly, at the end of each turn, this card's not good enough. There's no way. 5 damage, it should deal 10 damage to a random enemy, and if there is no enemy minion, it should do 5 damage face. Make the card do something. It's 8 mana. There's no way this card's playable. It doesn't, yeah, there's, oh my god, they're so scared to make good cards. It's so apparent in these designs that they're terrified at the potential a card could be too good. Because I would rather a card see play and people build decks around it and then get nerfed than shit to never see play. And I think there's been so many times in Hearthstone where the cards have been like way too good and the meta got destroyed that they're now doing this. Like, look at when Demon Hunter first came out. It was very apparent. Like, Demon Hunter, I don't know if you guys remember Ashes Outland. Demon Hunter was 97% of played rate on like players playing the game. 97% of players were playing like Demon Hunter. It was, I could go 25 games and only see one other class one game, and it was Warlock because you could sacrificial pact the demons that Demon Hunter ran. So they played like, you know, the 5 mana 5/5. You could play a 0 mana, kill it, heal for 5, and even that wasn't good enough, right? So, and then we had like Galakron Shaman, emergency nerfed, and then we had like the Zerg package with the 3 mana 3/3 spell burst, give +3/+3, and the Zergling, which was crazy because we already had seen Serenite Chain Gang and the way that they dealt with Serenite because of the same problem. And as soon as I saw Zergling, I said, what the fuck are we doing? If it summons a copy of itself, they're just gonna buff it, and we're gonna get the same problem as we did with Serenite, but instead it's even better because it's a 1 mana 1/1 that splits. You could have a 1 mana fucking 15/15 if it, like, it was like, I saw it the second the card was printed, right? And so, like, I think because of those mistakes now, we're getting into cards that are being printed like this. And like, if you just play with the cards, I feel like you could tell if something is essentially really broken. Like, there's gonna be some interactions you're gonna miss, right? Like, you're just like, you're not gonna hit everything. But like, if you just play with this card, it's essentially, it's bad. Like, there is no other way around knowing, like, you don't have to play with this card to know this card is really bad, so let's try to make it playable. And if, like, it's really sad, honestly. It's sad. 8 mana, set a friendly minion stats to 1/1, fill your board with copies of it. I mean, that's kind of interesting. This would be really good with Titans. You could have 7 Titans out. That'd be nutty. So this is our last mask. Set a see, I also hate this. We've talked about this in our previous card reviews. Set a friendly minion stats to 1/1. This you should be able to use for your opponent. You should be able to set a minion stats to 1/1 and then fill your board with it. When you allow cards to be used on your side or your opponent's side, it lets the card have a lot more flexible freedom to be able to make very interesting and intricate plays that normally wouldn't be able to happen, right? This, I'm not sure what this does. Like, yeah, you can use this on a starship piece. Cool. That just means we're still playing starship decks, which we've been playing for 4 or 5 months now. Right? Like, yeah, defense crystal, you're a genius. You gain 50 armor and the game takes 20 minutes. So, what are we doing with this? Like, Ragnaros could be interesting, right? Like, this is going to be part of like an OTK meme deck. Like, 100% a card like this is going to be used in a way to kill your opponent or to gain 1 million. It's like the old, what was it? It was like Owl Lock, right? Where it dealt 8 damage and then they'd do the phylactery and they'd phylactery the thing and then the thing would die and then you just take a gazillion trillion damage, right? That's going to be very similar to how this is going to be played. This will be played the same exact way phylactery was played. And this is set up like a whole bunch of damage, like set up to deal 8 to your opponent when it dies or something. Or deal like, you know, 10 damage separately, whatever. We you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be played like that, and I'm 100%. If anybody wants to remember this moment when I say this is gonna be played in an OTK Warlock deck, or infinite value, infinite armor Warlock deck, yeah, you post that on Reddit when it happens because I'm calling it now. All right. So heading on from the Bat Mask to Barricade Basher. It's a warrior card. 3 mana, 4/3. Whenever you gain armor, gain +2/+2 and attack a random enemy minion. So this is pretty good, right? You could play this and then safety goggles and then shield slam or like bash, and +2/+2 makes it, what is that, a 6/5? That's probably gonna kill anything on turn 3 or 4 or 5, and then probably live. Also, it says whenever you gain armor, which theoretically means, oh gosh. Dogs are going at it. If you have like any taunt that gains armor, like turtle on the board, every time the turtle gives you like 1 armor, this can attack, which can be used in a variety of things. So I think this card's actually pretty sick. This card's actually really good, and I don't know why, but it reminds me of like Final Fantasy, like the little bird things that you ride, chocobos, even though it looks nothing like a chocobo. That's the vibe I got. Holy shit. I have a legendary dragon, 8 mana, 5/12, squeaky. Dogs, can we please chill? I have 2 more cards. Thank you. We have an 8 mana, 5/12. We have an 8 mana, 5/12 dragon with rush. It's a beast and a dragon, and then after this attacks an enemy minion, it damages all other enemy minions, which means if it goes face, it doesn't do damage to everything. I think it should say whenever it does damage, deal damage to all enemies minions, because then you could go like, if this lives on the board, right, instead of having to trade with it, you could go face and then it clears again. So that'd make it a lot better, but it's already like pretty good. Like, this is like a really solid card for Control Warrior. Same thing with the card that before we just covered. So also, like, this is a very awkward dragon. Like, I'm pretty sure Triceratops aren't supposed to have wings. Like, this just doesn't look right. We could have just made something like different than this. Like, it's a cool card and we like it. It's just like, why is it this beast, like the dino, and then why is it like also a dragon, which is fine, but like, why this one? And then like in the background there's like a firework. It makes it look like he's standing on like the pillar in like Karazhan. I don't know. Whenever there's fireworks and Hearthstone cards, it just reminds me of the One Night in Karazhan, and that expansion was fucking, or that mini set was so bad. So, adventure. I don't even know what you want to call that. It was a thing that there was stuff, and it was bad. It might have been an expansion. Anyway, it's obviously a very good card. Like, it's not like game breaking, but it is like a really solid card. And then heading to the 7-mana spell Guard Duty. This is a summon a random 6, 4, and 2 cost taunt minion for 7 mana. So this is good, right? Because it's basically summon 2 6-drops for 7. And there's nothing like required of this. Right, it's not like have this amount of armor, or like there's normally like they did with like what was it, the priest stuff and like some other stuff. The more spells you played, it like upgraded, and it just ended up being unplayable. It was like a 6 mana summon 2 3-drops, but if you play 3 spells, you summon 2 6-drops for something. And this seems like okay. It's also just another card from Yogg in the Box. Anytime we get big spells right now, I'm just looking at them in Mage because Warrior's never gonna play this. So I guess that means it's bad. I guess this is like a good arena card. Like Warrior never plays this card, but this card being randomly like just done by Yogg in the Box obviously makes it good, right? Because you just get 3 minions and they all have taunt. We also what is it? The it's better spells for the Relic of the Kings, right? Because like that Relic of the Kings had like such bad cards it could pull from, but now Relic of the King has all the masks, and it has like guard duty and stuff. So I think I think all spell mage actually, or discover mage, just got like way better this mini set, because now we just have like more good spells that cost a lot that you wouldn't necessarily play in your deck, but when you can get a whole bunch of them for free, it makes it like good, right? These warrior cards aren't bad. The Barricade, Basher, and the Dragon, obviously like the ones that stand out to me the most being like a control warrior player. The Guard Duty, I don't really care, but it's like good in Mage. So like, I like Mage, so it works out pretty well. Anyway, so with that, hopefully you've enjoyed. I think that's going to wrap up. We've done all the classes so far for the mini set. So I think it'll impact the meta probably a little bit, but like I said before, I think it's really just going to take a 1 to 2 more balance changes, and then we'll be in like a pretty good spot for what I hope will be a very solid end of the year expansion, which is going to be about 2 months after this mini set, because you know 2 months it goes expansion, 2 months mini set, 2 months expansion, 2 months mini set, and then an expansion comes out every 4 months. So yeah, anything that shakes up the meta and lets us play new decks, I'm stoked for. So with that, I'll catch you guys on stream on Twitch, or I'll see you guys in the next video. Of course, I'm Robert Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.